the guitarist for the band I had been in for 5 years, had the friend of the shithead. A big-time hardcore druggie. No biggie. Until after a show one night. We go out for drinks. My wife, her friend, a couple of us. We all have one or two and get ready to leave. Her friend, the druggie, and a buddy stay for one more. Wife's friend doesn't show up to work the next day. Call around, she's not home, not at work. Find out she's in the hospital in a coma. Druggie put GHB in her drink, drank himself real drunk and tried to drive her to his house while she was out in the back seat. He wrapped his car around an electric box. She cracked his skull open. 2 plates put in and she eventually woke up. Investigation and convicted of drugging her and driving drunk. Dude does 6 months in county. Flash forward a couple years. Wife's friend comes to visit for her birthday. Guitarist who was not invited, brings the druggie to the birthday dinner. I almost laid him out front after he did 6 months. What else do you want? I especially don't want you to bring that asshole to her birthday dinner. Fuck that guy, fuck the other guy, never spoke to them again. Both those guys can rot in hell. I am a happily married woman. A female friend, who'd recently left her husband for another man, invited me to her house for dinner. Cool, short, sounds great. She said there would be a surprise waiting for me. Without much prompting, she said she'd arranged for a male friend to join us. You know, you really need to loosen up and have an affair. Yeah, that's a hard pass for me. We never talked again. When I didn't recognize the person I was talking to anymore. Just suddenly hit me. This dude was a habitual liar. Lied about everything, even stuff he didn't need to. Things like what his favorite drink at Starbucks was. Everything. Eventually he lied about having cancer. I thought he wouldn't lie about that, I was wrong. I grieved for my friend. Turns out that he was not above lying about cancer. I wasn't going to let my grieving be for nothing either. Always had money for weed, but always complaining about not having enough money to pay rent. Also, couldn't hold down a job for more than 2 weeks. It'd go from being the best job in the fucking world to everyone is out to get me, and then fuck you all I quit. Had a college friend, we call buddy to each other and literally went through all those college life stuffs together. But in this friendship, I am usually the one listening and asking questions and she's the one getting to talk about herself and herself. It's my personality to be such, so I was okay. Until a few years later, we went to different countries far apart, and she ran into some issues at work, got into depression. Still, I got her back and offered comfort and help as much as I can. Then she stopped reading my messages, for months, so I stopped sending messages thinking I might look pushy. After a week or so, I saw her social media account, with all our mutual friends there, talking how bad of a friend I was for abandoning her. A long speech about me. She even mistook that I'd blocked her. Actually, I just changed my name so she might have not recognized that. But like WTF. Even if I stopped messaging her, because she wasn't responding anyway, I would check on her social media updates all the time. I would think of her all the time. If I had a means to, I'd hop on the plane and get to her. And yet she talked as if someone I don't know. But that's not the last straw yet. I messaged her immediately, apologized for the feelings she had, and asked politely if we can talk. I got ignored again, but at least she took down her post. I messaged her again and made her throwback video posts on her birthday. Nothing but a cold wave. And then my birthday came around and I didn't hear from her even a single thing. That's it. That's the last, slowly burning straw. I have no regrets. My former best friend had a habit of trying to make me feel like I was lucky to have him as a friend who can actually put up with me because no one else does. Of course I had other friends, but even then he would often try to make me seem horrible to them in an attempt to destroy the friendship. So anyways, I became friends with someone and of course he didn't like that and started being passive-aggressive to her. Naturally I asked him what was wrong and he went on this long rant about what a horrible person I was and how I probably don't even like my new friend as a person or something like that, so I was like, fuck it. Why do I put up with this shit, and blocked him on everything while avoiding talking to him in real life. She kept peddling an MLM and I told her multiple times it was a bad idea. She got her feelings hurt when I told her the bald-faced truth about it, and I told her she can talk to me when she runs out of friends and family to sell makeup to. TLDR, Guy always refused to cooperate or compromise with group plans unless it benefited him. Then while on an out-of-state trip complained about our restaurant choices until 9 p.m, until he picked one, then spat out his food like a child and refused to eat. This guy would constantly try to get the rest of us to change when we did things. For the longest time most of us worked similar days and hours, and would make plans for our days off. He switched jobs as well as ours. At first we accommodated him and switched plans around, but then we realized he wouldn't at all. If the plans fell on a day he had to work, but still after he go out, he would complain that he would be too tired and insist on us changing the plans, despite the fact that if we changed times other people would miss out entirely. He didn't care if other people missed out, so long as he didn't miss out. He even tried to get me to change my birthday party one year for him. The last straw though was when we made plans to go to a convention out of town. It required that we get an Airbnb so we could all hang out together. My wife did all the legwork and found a great spot for a good price, she just needed everyone to confirm they were still going. The guy waited weeks to respond to the group message and we lost the booking. We found one much farther away and much more expensive. The dude complained about that the entire time, despite it being his fault we didn't get the good place. He also refused to chip in for taxes either. All of that was just super annoying. What really broke the camel's back for me was near the end of the day of the convention. Most of us were tired from walking around all day and hungry, but didn't want to buy a $14 slice of pizza. So we decided to call it a date and head out and to stop at Taco Bell on the way back to the Airbnb. Except him, he was waiting in line for autographs all day and was upset we wanted to leave when he hadn't had a chance to look at stuff yet. We told him we'd meet him back at the place we were staying, but that wasn't to his liking, so he whined that he wouldn't get to eat dinner with us. For whatever reason we told him we would wait for him to get food once we were all back at the B&B. We waited another 2 hours before he got back. He wouldn't agree to any of the restaurants we wanted to check out, but finally, at about 9 p.m, we settled on a chicken place that delivered. The food gets there, he takes one bite, spits it out like a child and says he doesn't like it and refuses to eat. We were all so fucking pissed at him for it we really haven't invited him anywhere else since. Edit. Just the other day, a mutual friend started to organize his annual camping trip at his cabin. He all let us know that it would be at the end of next month. We all respond how we can't wait for the end of July, and settle on the exact weekend. A week later the former friend, Guy, finally responds to the group chat and all he says is something like, "July doesn't work for me, let's do this August. I just made plans for the end of July." Myself and my ex-friend, dubbed him Tom, had a mutual friend, dubbed him Mike. Mike had a long history of suicidal tendencies, and had attempted it twice already. A few months prior, Mike had made attempt number 3 by getting drugged up and standing in front of a train. Mike jumped away last second and got clipped, fracturing a couple ribs and dislocating his shoulder. By the time the last straw happened, Mike was all better. He actually healed fast. We were calling him Iron Man Fight. We were all 3 at a party, like 12-ish people there. All from my high school, all good friends. All drunk. So, around a couple others, I asked Mike about his train experience. I said if he was at all uncomfortable talking about it, to please say so. I was drunk and wanted to know what that surreal experience was like. Again, I made it very clear I respected his wish to not tell. Mike said it was fine, and he was laughing about it, actually. Said how dumb it was and how he feels much better for the time being. After, Tom comes up to me. Tom has a history of being belligerent. He grabs my shirt and tries, I am twice his size, to push me. Says if I ever do shit like that again, he will kill me. Tom won't get off, insists he knows what's best for Mike. Know that Tom had never done anything to really help Mike with his issues. I tell him to get off of me, what the fuck dude. Night ends. Next day, 8 a.m, Tom calls me and says he's coming to my mom's house. I am staying there for the weekend, I have my own place. Tom gets there, wakes me up, and again tries to berate me for talking to Mike about it. I say what the fuck are you doing, it's 8 a.m, I went to bed at 3 a.m, Get out of this house. Tom won't leave. He tries to block me in my room. He's yelling at me, this and that. I finally have to push him, 20 feet, from my room to the front door. He tells my mother I don't know where he went wrong, but your son is retarded. He also says, in front of my mom, if you ever talk to Mike like that again, I'll kill you and bury you in front of her, points to Mom. I had to get in his face and tell him to leave or get the shit kicked out of him. I'm not violent, I'm just a big guy. Fuck Tom.
Yeah. Yeah.